In today's video, we're going to be using a green screen to create the multi-personality or multi-character effect. And I actually learned this effect from YC Imaging. I saw him using this in one of his music videos. I absolutely loved it, and I decided to do my own version of this effect. Now, first things first, you're gonna need a green screen. Check out the green screen that I'm using. It's actually a roll-up green screen, and the color and the material of this green screen work so well, I have no creases or weird shadows. That's gonna be very important for the keying effect, and for those of you who are new to that, keying is basically removing the background. And with a green screen, it should be pretty simple to do so, but not with shadows or creases. If you have shadows or creases, it makes your job a lot more difficult because then you're dealing with more than just one color. The lights that I'm using, well, I'm only using two lights. I'm using the Aputure Amaran P60X, which is a bicolored LED panel, and I'm also using the Godox ML30 Bi, which is also a bicolored light fixture. It's a COB. And I don't know if it's available yet, but if it is, I'll link it down below. They also have the ML60 Bi, which is also available. Also, another tip, don't wear any green while you're shooting in front of a green screen. I know it's pretty obvious, but I do want to say it, especially for those of you who are new to green screens. This type of green, you might be able to get away with it, but just to be safe, get rid of all that green and use a different color. Now, another tip is that if you're a pale white guy like me, odds are you're gonna reflect that green off of your skin. It also depends on the fabric and the lighting that you're using, but if you're using like a muslin cloth green screen that's really bright green, you can see that on your skin. So make sure you keep a significant amount of distance away from the green screen. But as I mentioned, this green screen is really good with that, and I'll link it down below as well. And also, I'm using the Hollyland C1. This is a new video transmission system from Hollyland, and that's helping me out shoot this video so I can double check my framing. So to pull this effect off, all you have to do is basically stand in one spot. So notice the framing here. It's actually just a chest up framing, and then in editing, we're gonna do some zoom ins to make each different person look differently. So I'll show you and explain that to you in the editing process as well. But start off by shooting the widest shot that you're gonna shoot. For example, this is as wide as I'm gonna go, and then in editing, we'll crop that or zoom in if need be. So first start off with your traditional movements that you want to do for the main character, and then just move on into shooting the other movements for the different characters. And don't forget, you don't have to position your different characters in different parts of the frame. You can do that all in editing, so you can stay in the center of the frame at all times. Also, if you're shooting a music video, make sure you have that music playing back so that way your moves align with the beat of that song. And of course, make sure your timing is right with each of the characters. All right. So now that I've recorded all of my dancing moves with those different personalities or those different characters, I'm ready to import it into Final Cut, and I'll show you how to edit this. Now, don't worry if you have Adobe Premiere, the process is exactly the same. So here we are in Final Cut Pro. Let's have a closer look at the footage. Now, I do want to let you know that this is going to be an effect that's going to require a lot of processing power. So I'm using the M1 Max MacBook Pro 16-inch. And let me mute the audio here. And this is all gonna have to do with stacking video clips on top of each other while also adding effects. So this is gonna be very demanding on your computer. So if you'd like to make your life a little bit easier, if you have a slightly older system, you can actually pre-render the clips simply by right-clicking the clip and then hitting Transcode Media and then select Create Proxy Media. All right, this will compress the footage and make it so much easier to work with, especially when you're adding and layering tracks on top of each other. All right, so here's the raw clip. I'm gonna go ahead and drag and drop it into my timeline. And this part is really simple, guys. All we have to do is now key out the green screen. I do want to let you know that I have a little bit of an issue right here. I didn't zoom in all the way so that the green screen fills the whole entire frame. So what we can do to easily fix this issue is just crop it. So I'm going to crop it a tiny bit from the right. Actually, sorry, let me do it from the left. And that's it. That eliminates that issue for me. And then once you've done that, you can go ahead and search for keyer and drag and drop that effect onto your clip. and boom, your clip is 100% keyed. You can also double check the keyer to make sure that it keyed out everything well by enabling the matte view. The subject that remains in place is white and whatever is black is keyed out. We can adjust this a little bit to make it better. I don't want the alpha to be keyed out, so I'm just gonna go ahead and adjust the fill holes option. Boom, and that fixes everything. Okay, so we can deselect the matte, and now we're back to normal. So now basically our background is transparent and we can add in anything that we want. So I decided to go with this cool gray grunge looking wall. I'm gonna increase the size of it so it fills up the whole frame. And there you go, you have a keyed out background. And I shot this on an 8-bit Sony A9 and you can still see how well it came out. It keyed out extremely well. You don't see any green artifacting or any of those issues here. So as long as you light up your green screen properly, you will get a great effect. Okay, now that we've done this, we want to select the character that will be our main character. For example, I'm gonna go with this as being my first character. And I'm gonna go ahead and prioritize this clip. All right, I shot this all in one clip, guys. That's also something that makes your life a little bit easier. Instead of just pressing stop and go on your camera the whole time, it's better to just record it all in one take. All right, so then once you've finished doing one action with one character, go ahead and choose another action and start layering it on top or below the main character. All right, don't forget we're using a green screen so we can reposition it in any place we want. And I can decrease the size. Don't forget we're dealing with depth now because I wanted to make it seem like I have people behind me and in front of me. So on top of the repositioning and rescaling, we're gonna add a Gaussian blur to add some more depth. And I'll show you how to do that. That's very easy. So I'm just gonna position him over here. Don't forget, I shot this at a medium shot. So if I lift up the character too much, you'll notice that I get cut off here. And that's okay because we can also add more characters in front of this one to block off that hard cut right here. So I'm gonna just reposition him right over here. I'm gonna add a slight Gaussian. I'm gonna decrease the strength of the Gaussian blur just a little bit fuzzy. Doesn't need to be too extreme. Remember, we want the focus to be on this main character right here. If we play it back, yeah, looks pretty legit. And you just gotta continue doing that with all of the characters. Remember, the ones that you want in the front need to be stacked on top. The ones that you want in the back need to be stacked on the bottom. All right, once you're happy, you can go ahead and select all of your characters. And now we're just gonna group them, or if you're in Premiere, you're gonna nest them. We're gonna right click once they're all selected, hit new compound clip. You can rename it whatever you want, hit OK. And now we're just gonna trim the background clip. Once we've done that, we can add some cool effects to the clip. So for example, YC Imaging did black and white, which I really liked. So we're gonna add a black and white color here. I'm just gonna use a simple one, just drag and drop it. Boom, black and white. And on top of that, you can add some camera shake or some grain to add that extra film-like effect to it. Use adjustment layers to your advantage if you want to apply the same effect to multiple clips that are stacked. So that's a good, useful feature as well. And as I mentioned earlier, that final cherry on this delicious milkshake was a little awkward. We're gonna add the handheld camera effect, which is built right into Final Cut. And just look at the playback. It might be a little bit choppy since it's not rendered, but yeah, look how good it is. It looks pretty dope and I'm really happy with it. And it's as simple as that, guys. All it takes is a little bit of patience. Remember, the most important part is properly lighting your green screen. Once you have a properly lit green screen, there's literally no limit to what effects you can do. All right, so let me know what you guys think about this effect. Comment down below. I'll also leave the music video link that YC Imaging did that used this effect, and you're gonna love it. All right, so let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in another video. Peace.